Here we go. We're going to see how nature catches energy and how it moves it around and stores it in life, how life stores and holds on to energy. This trip in Cambodia, we've been going around to a couple new places and visiting some old places. We start off the trip up in Rattanakkiri, which is in the northeast corner of the country. Catch and store energy and resources. Remember we talked about that? One of the principles is to catch and store energy and resources as high in the landscape as possible. It is probably one of the more remote areas of Cambodia, though now they've been having a lot of loss of jungle. I mean, that's true for all over Cambodia, is the removal of jungle for profit, and then after that, planting a lot of now rubber plantations going up. So that's happened up in Rattanakkiri. One of the major inputs of energy into life is from the sun. The part of life that catches that are plants. Right? Plants get that energy. I always recommend that serious permaculture people get this saying tattooed on their body so they can see it whenever they wake up. It's not the volume coming in, it's how long you can hold on to it and keep it within the system that makes it healthy, that makes it sustainable. That's how life grows. That's how life can keep expanding and growing, because it catches and it stores by movement. Storage can be dynamic. It can be movement as long as that movement is inside of your system. This storage of moving the energy and the resources around the farm or around the village, that movement will actually create many benefits. How is energy moving around through the system, and how can we predict what patterns do we see from those flows? Where is one of the major flows? What area? Okay, that's sort of a node, but there's major flows there, okay? What other things might say that we can see, that we can observe, that would be important about design, that we need to be aware of? People, resources, this here, from coming in across the bridge, coming here and going up this direction, that's like Main Street, the main pathway of this village. This increases speed. It's straight, and it's a little bit sloped going this way. So things go faster here. The relationships we create between the soil, the plants, the animals, the people, the technology, how we put those parts together, that's where it's all happening. That's the trick. Remember, catch and store energies and resources as high in the landscape. So we start in the top, and then we work our way down. We could make it that it has to go this way, and then go back that way, and then go back that way. So you can start to make that flow, the moped flow, meander more. You have lots of food growing in here that you can push this water into, and you can make mulch pits or big, holes, put some rocks in, and just get the water to go into the ground. Okay? And you can do that as you go down the street. We have more places here. Water overflows, and you decide where does it go to next. The more you're able to think imaginatively, the more you can, be creative, the more opportunity you have to create more yield. Where are the edges? Oh, look at that. Oh, let's put a little bit here. Let's try this. We have nitrogen. We have old pig manure. You can use newspaper. You can use the paper that we've been using to draw on, cotton sheets, as long as it's organic. Wool, cotton, silk. It's a good way to let nature do your work for you. It's very good at softening soil. When you have hard soil like this, compacted soil, you can sheet mulch it, especially if you do it deeper, and it will over time soften it. You have the choice of doing multiple layers, or maybe you decide just to do one layer. When you finish, whenever you get to where you're stopping, the last layer you put on is a thick layer of mulch, of about something like that. or rocks. Let's put some of these. This tree will start to get stronger. You'll start seeing it going. Woo, woo, woo. It was actually for Akadin NGO, and we trained their staff, and they work all over Cambodia, so that'll be a good one. They're really starting to integrate permaculture into what they're doing. And up in Ratchatanakiri, with the villages they're working up there, those are some indigenous tribal people, not Khmer, but a variety of different tribals up there, and they've had to settle down because there's no more jungle for their shifting cultivation. So they're learning now a settled cultivation, and this NGO is helping them, and so we're integrating permaculture ideas into their new agricultural systems that they're learning as a community. So that's pretty exciting. An A-frame frenzy is going on here. We're having lots of fun with bamboo, which is a very fun thing to have fun with. I'm in a frenzy, an A-frame frenzy. Of fudging here with the nails and hammer, which is fine in the real world, but we're trying to keep it. I was trying to keep it a little bit, lower tech. But I think 2 groups used nails and 2 groups didn't. This is off a little bit. It can make big difference. But that looks like that's pretty much in the middle. Okay, great. So we want to find level, 2 points that are level across to build terrace. So we move that one. Yeah, exactly. In mountains, that's what you want to do for garden. You want to make flat flats going down. 2, 3, 4. So those are all same. If you're making terrace, want to make flat space, then what you can do is you can start chopping here, pulling it this way, and then pulling it out here so it drops down. We have flat area going like this. So now we can measure this way, level, but we can also measure like this or across like this to make sure it's level back to front. Okay, try the key. It's like having a baby, sort of. This is the exciting time. Okay, there's not a strong smell. If you smell down here, you get a little bit stronger smell. Fermentation is the only type of food preservation, saving food, that actually increases the value of the food. If you can food, if you dry food, if you freeze food, it lessens the nutrient value. But if you ferment food, it actually makes the nutrient value of the food higher, better. This was starting to get there. You can see it's starting a little green there, a little red. Yeah, we got the fuzz. So it's starting to happen. In the 2 years I've been coming here, this is actually the 3rd year, that I've really seen permaculture start to pick up a little bit. There's a lot more NGOs that are interested. I'm meeting more people. More people are getting interested in how permaculture can help them in their work with NGO work and their groups they're working with. So it's picking up.
Our NGO is called IBY, International Volunteer of Yamagata. We are very small Japanese NGOs based in one province in Japan. We've been working in surveillance from 1999, and our activities is on sustainable agriculture and community development.
This is a special camera where I get a photograph of everybody who watches this video. Very special. But this is where the action is down here. We're using neem, and pretty exciting. Neem's one of those great plants. Every farm should have one neem tree because it's an excellent source for just organic pest control. The great thing is trying to get them to experiment, trying to get them to try new things, and that it's okay to try something and it not working. That's fine. The idea is that we want them to try. We want them to investigate and see what works best for them and for their environment.
I wanted to have some kind of like a breakthrough and to get some knowledge, from outside. And I heard about permaculture instructors visiting Cambodia. So we invited Rico about a year ago, and he found some, possibilities and potentials in these areas. So I wanted to invite him again and train the farmers and our agriculture stuff. And this year we've been focusing on IPM, integrated pest management.
They're having fun with sprayers, You get some guys together with squirt guns and see what happens. Have lots of fun. We have 3 different garlic preparations: garlic chili, 2 neem preparations, sweet potato leaf. We're going to try a cassava, seaweed we're using, taro leaf, tobacco, although we're not going to spray that. Tobacco is the last resort, because if you use tobacco and you spray it, you're killing good bugs, good organisms, the things that are helping you, your allies, your helpers. You're killing those. Good, bad, ugly, beautiful, Khmer, American. It kills everything. These trees here have a lot of bug infestations, so we have a wonderful laboratory to try it out on. And we're tagging everything. As we spray them, we tag them, and overall we're hoping to see which ones have better effects.
We just make note for the next time we can know clear and we can comment on preparation, which one is the best and which one is not work. So this is good for information next time. Garlic and chili number 1, it's meant garlic chili boiling. Yeah, and then we know that tree we spray on garlic and chili number 1, and we know a date. So next week or the day after we spray, we can observe what can the garlic and chili work on that plant. So this is very important. Yeah.
We made sprayers out of bamboo, which I thought were really nice. Unfortunately, they didn't quite work as well as these PVC sprayers, which is not my ideal choice, but they're at least a low-tech, easy-to-make sprayer that's accessible by the farmers.
I think the garlic tea. Yeah, garlic tea, it have garlic, seaweed, and sugar palm. So this is more interesting. Maybe sometime I can taste instead of the tree.
Soap helps the preparation stay on the leaves. Most of the preparations we're making, we'll put soap into it right at the end. Very last thing we do is put soap into it. Try to find in the market the simplest soap possible. No color, no smell. Most soap, more natural, simple soap will be this color or brown, darker color. Just pointing out the soil, I think that's one of the reasons these plants have become so infested, is that they're stressed out because they don't really have good organic soil health going on here. Very exposed, dry, depleted soil. The whole idea of IPM is that it's integrated pest management, and that means everything works together, not just the spraying. That's one thing we really try to get across to these guys, that no matter how fun it is and how sexy it is to be making, bio-natural, preparations to spray on bugs, we really don't want to have to spray. That's the last thing we want to do. The idea is that it's not one approach. It's not just spray. It's not one thing. It's many things. It's about the whole farm. It's not about just fighting bugs. It's about managing the whole farm. Everything you do on the farm works to make a healthy farm, and by having a healthy farm, you have very few pest problems. Pests are kept in balance. Insects are attracted to weak plants. So for many reasons, you want to make healthy soil. Healthy soil, healthy plants. Healthy plants, healthy farmer, healthy family, healthy people. The problem is the solution?
Yeah.
That's like this. The problem is this insect. So we take that insect, we make insect repellent from it, and we spray it, and it helps keep that insect away. So you're making a spray out of the insect you want to keep away.
I think for the Khmer peoples, the concept of experimenting is not really, widespread. So permaculture, and I think the Reiko's concept is really about experimenting and observing, and I think that's the way the farm should be useful. So I'm really happy that whenever Reiko comes, he does very much of different things and new things.
Be creative. Try to think of new way. Make hole here where we can put this into it like that, and make like flour.
It's simple, maybe easy for farmer to learn. You can practice at the farm.
Habitat for pests. Bad insect.
Let's start off with one per tree. One per tree.
Muối, đơm, mà đơm, đại muối.
Đá muối.
Mà đơm muối, mà đơm muối.
I hope that some farmers get some concept of permacultures, so they're more, encouraged to do, integrated farm systems.
So I want everyone to go out and grab a few leaves of plants, but different, and just bring a handful, and we'll put it in buckets, and then we'll make, over the next several days, we'll make compost tea. We want to reuse these bottles, so we need to clean them, wash them out. Keeping everything clean so we don't mix formula. We're going to feed the plants now. This is not directly fighting pests. This is part of integrated pest management, in that we're going to feed and strengthen the plants with our leaf soup that has lots of minerals and nutrients that are good for the plant in it. And we're going to spray it on the vegetable plants, only on a small section, and we're going to see what it does, if it helps or if it's too strong or too weak. Here in Svayring, we've been working with these farmers for a couple of years now, and really trying to integrate more, encouraging them, and that's what these farm visits are about, to integrate these things they've been learning the past 2 years into their actual farms. So here we are at Song's farm, one of the participants from the courses we've been doing over at IVY here. And we decided to do some farm visits, consultations, have the group do some work for each farmer. Right now the group's over here clearing out one of the rice paddies that he's going to do some vegetables in for this season. He'll continue doing rice, but he'll be switching back and forth between rice and vegetables. Here they only do one season of rice with the available monsoon, and then that's it. They don't have strong groundwater or enough to do two seasons. One of the other things we were doing with the farmers that we're visiting is we're giving them a few trees, try to get them going on planting more trees. We planted 3 or 4 trees and then coming around here as the beginning of a windbreak, but also then to produce more organic matter, because that's the thing I think is really critical in many tropics, and especially here in Svayring where the soil's so poor, is that 95 or so plus % of the nutrient value in an ecosystem is held within above ground, within the biosphere, is the above ground biosphere, the vegetation. So it's really important when you're doing annual cropping of any type or any type of agriculture in the tropics, that you have to maintain that above ground savings, as it were. That's where you hold the nutrients and cycle the nutrients on a farm. So we're really encouraging the farmers to develop more of a complex structuring, more layered, and especially with the trees and bushes, so they can produce a lot of organics, which then can be cycled into the soil. And then also with this, it's having the guys work together. They're kind of spread out. They've pulled in from different areas, so they're from different villages, but really promoting a sharing of work, sharing of ideas, getting to see each other's farms. Song's farm is a little different in the sense that it's fairly small. He's an older man, a grandfather, and so he's just really working this very small plot. So all in all, very exciting little place, having lots of fun, working together. In a group of farmers like we have here with Ivy, IVY, there's going to be a few of them, hopefully more than a few, but that are going to be a little bit more progressive, a little bit more experimental, a little bit more excited to try these things out, and this farm being one of them. So it's really good when you're, as a strategy to recognize these people and then work with them, because then they become within the community. It's the system itself changing itself, as we talked about, finding those leverage points, or identifying those places where change is already happening and then helping promote that change. And this guy here, Song, is obviously, I think, that way. You can just see the farm. A lot happening on the farm, a lot of cool stuff, vertical space, using all little nooks and crannies, very progressive, doing new stuff. We just put in this nice gray water. So pretty exciting little farm here, and that's why, he can be, for this group, he could be one of those people that has a really helps the others move forward.
This is the big busy morning at the villager farm that we just start to come to have activity to create his farm with building new bed garden and mulching and planting some legume tree for increase the soil healthy and stronger. By study about permaculture, they know how to care for people, and they know about what the farmer do. The farmer's not just planting. The farmer is creating the soil healthy and strong. When they create strong, healthy soil, and then they have the plant healthy, and the family will happy and healthy too. So everything they have to connect with each other, with the environment, human, and the soil, and sunlight too.
So here's a gray water system we're putting in, and gray water is an excellent introductory strategy, or something to introduce into a village. It has immediate results, very simple to do. It illustrates really a lot about the cycling, creating cycles and trying to hold resources. One thought on this design that we're looking at that I'm considering is right here, of actually putting in a few water plants. So actually making a very small constructed wetlands. Water comes off the pad, goes through the plants and roots, gets some processing, then continues on down through the pipe. We got some bamboo siding going on here on the ditch we had made, and then back here there's a bamboo sort of roof on it, and then a scrap piece of this bagging, this plastic bagging that a lot of things come in. So covering it up, and don't need no PVC now, with this nice little underground channel that they're making. So that's pretty sweet. It's not the amount of a resource that determines the sustainability of a system. It's how long that resource stays in the system. And we can give you an example. You have 1,000 real. I have two 500s here. So you have a village. The foreigner comes in. The foreigner sits down, has a cup of cafe, drinks it, pays the money. Then owner of cafe takes this, goes to farmer, and pays farmer for some food. The farmer takes this money, goes to blacksmith, and pays to have some tool repaired. Blacksmith takes this money, and because they're very hard, they go to massage person and gets massage on shoulders. You know, blacksmith, very hard. And so massage person goes to tailor, and the tailor, you know, repairs or makes some clothes. And then the tailor takes this money and goes to Han and hires Han to do some work, to garden, because Han is an experienced permaculture person. So they bring Han in to help with garden. Then Han takes this money and buys food from a local store, from a little market. You can see the idea. As long as people buy local, this stays in the community, and this money, same, it has not changed. It's the same piece of money, has now gone around through the community and created all this benefit. So you see back here Mr. Han, and he's giving a tour to the class of the farm here at Harmony Farms. One of the things about Mr. Han, he's a very dedicated young man, and he's part of sort of what I would call my whole exit strategy. One of the things we talk about in permaculture is designing yourself out of the system, so that the system itself is not dependent on a thing, be it a person or one element, that the system needs to be resilient and also growing. So my exit strategy, my designing myself out of the system, is having students, local students, Mr. Han being my first really progressed Khmer local students, and so that eventually he will be doing all the teaching, which is a lot more appropriate in the sense of the culture teaching itself. So I'm just helping introduce these ideas, helping these ideas get going, and really gardening permaculturalists. That's another thing we say, everything gardens. And right now I'm trying to garden permaculturalists, and Mr. Han being one of the very good ones, who I'm hoping within a couple of years will be teaching on his own. I'm not sure if he'll do the full design course yet. That'll probably be a few more years down the road, but definitely I think within a year or two he'll be able to lead his own teachings without me being around. So that's pretty exciting.
So here we send all many people here. We do grey water for our middle school at Cambodian.
Make this the right size for the amount of water coming out of here. If lots of water comes out, then we can make this maybe bigger in different ways, because then we can get more benefit from it. The size of this here is starting to get big enough. I don't think you would want to go too much bigger with just a big solid pit. For bananas, for papaya, pineapple, lemongrass, we don't want to go too wide, so we use our water wisely.
We have many students from anywhere. We have teacher for this school and teacher from another school, and the staff from different organizations, and the village leader also. So many people, the kind of people, they can study about permaculture. We start to create the old idea that we have before, for have the human habitation. Yeah, sustainable human habitation by using nature and mimic nature.
Soil you need to cover. Soil does not like to be left naked. This garden here can be a way for children to learn new techniques, like sheet mulching or complex planting. They can learn that here in the school, and then they can take it home to mom and dad and say, hey, and maybe influence their parents to try something different. So it's a way to change slowly over time and improve the quality of Cambodian agriculture, is by teaching the children in school different ideas, new ideas, and then that way slowly, after a few years, it starts becoming practiced at home. So school gardens, I think they're great.
Everybody, they can come and they study about it, they learn about it, and they practice it. They have the world, they have the earth, and they have human habitation for sustainable.